So this is the in the bag pre-British Nationals. So I just want to show you guys what I'm going to bring to Great Britain for my British Nationals competition. And I want to give a huge shout out to the Fairway brand for sponsoring the awesome shirts that I'm going to show you guys later. So let's get into it. So for putting putters, I have a blue and a black dagger. The blue one is for inside the circle. The black is for outside the circle, so jump putts, step putts. Next up, throwing putters. So for small, like 20, 30 approaches, I have the koi that you guys know I love to throw on these small tomahawks that just drop to the ground. Then I have a berg, which is not going to be this berg, but a specially dyed berg from a British dyer that I'm really looking forward to get when I get over there. And for the same purpose, these small chip forehand upshots, I've got the Berg X. Then as my backhand throwing putter, I've got the lap second proxy, which is going to be for if I really need to have something backhand with a little bit of flip. Then I've got the arowana, which is going to be for these 40, 50 meter tomahawks, small approach shots where I just need the disc to give a little so it doesn't roll away. Moving on to the mid-ranges, I don't have a lot. I have these two. I've got the first run Nord, which I'm going to be using for both sidearms. And tomahawks from about 60 to 70 meters. And I have this Welsh dyed Svea from Casterplast as well, which has a little bit of flip for my backhand, which is just going to be nice if I really need to get out of a sticky situation with a backhand. This is my dad's disc. Don't tell him I stole it. Next up, we've got fairway drivers. And first up, elevation disc Gecko, which is going to be tomahawks, about 70, 80 meters. But when I really need the disc to not go anywhere but the place that it lands. Then we have the Insanity, which is my understable sidearm disc. I'm going to need this for a few sidearm turnovers on the course, but this is mostly utility. Then we've got 3 felons in varying stabilities, which I'm going to be throwing on both sidearms. And tomahawks, depending on where I need them. Then I've got my good luck charm, my marriage xenon, which my wife got me. I always bring this for good luck. And then I've got last fairway driver, the Splice, which is going to be for really overstable tomahawks. So if I really need my tomahawk to go right, I'll throw the Splice. That goes in there. Then I've got the 2 roller discs, one for sidearms, which is this F model S-Line Prodigy disc. And I've got the glow grim from Casterplast for my backhand rollers. And now we're going to move on to the distance drivers. And here we have for my flippy distance driver, the Wave in Proton. And this is going to have just a bit of turn so that I can put it on angles and make sure that it keeps the angle. And then we've got my distance sidearm, the launcher, which I'm just going to be using on basically most of my distance shots. And because that is my most important disc, I have this blue destroyer, which is going to be the backup to that disc. So if I somehow throw away the launcher, I'll have an extra disc to do that shot with. Then for my overstable distance drivers, I have the time lapse, which I know is going to finish right, which is going to be very helpful. And then we have the launcher OS, which is going to be the overstable distance driver. But this disc is really good because it has a bit of flip on my sidearm, even though it's super overstable. So it'll just push and glide for a while. And then we're moving on to the most important discs, the tomahawk discs. So I've got the Lift Boreum, which is basically my backhand, but it's a tomahawk, which goes in that pocket. And I've got the Rask from Casterplast, which has this strange underrim, and I can't tell you the science behind it, but it makes it flip fast but go far. So this is around 80 to 90, just dead straight. Then we have the Defender, which is basically just my second distance tomahawk, which goes about 90 to 100, which I can just jam on. And then we've got the big boy, the Nuke OS, and this one is just my pure distance tomahawk. And at Silver Birch, I'll probably be yanking on this a lot because this one goes really far, about 100 to 110, but it just stays pretty much in the middle every time. So this is going to be a very helpful disc for the shots I'm going to be needing for a golf course. And then finally, we have this 2015 Ledgestone TI Flex Nuke OS, which is, it's very beef. I have a hard time turning this over on tomahawks, so I actually use it for what I want to call overhand sky rollers. And that is the 28 discs I'm going to be bringing for the British Nationals to tackle the Silver Birch disc golf course. And I'm really looking forward to it. So once again, thank you to the Fairway brand for sponsoring the apparel for the trip. That's going to be really cool. And I'll see you in Britain.